Saudi Arabia is on a major building spree. Just last month, they announced their brand new tri-hotel project, Leisure, and this month they announced another futuristic project, Epicon. Now, Epicon would feature a hotel, a resort, and a few beach villas by the shore located on the Gulf of Aqaba. Now, when you look at these images and renderings, it looks like frames of a Blade Runner movie or a cyberpunk game. But one would really wonder, right? How is it that every mega project that Saudi announces are so futuristic, so ambitious, and so advanced in concept? So, in today's video, we're going to find out if this Epicon project would ever exist, and for that matter, will any of the recent projects that Saudi Arabia announced be completed sooner than we think? So, this video is supposed to be more of a discussion kind of thing, so feel free to skip throughout different chapters, but it's really important you stay until the end to understand my whole point of view that I'm trying to convey. Now, Neom is an upcoming region in northwest region of Saudi Arabia, popularly known for the Line project. Epicon is the latest addition to Neom. It is a tourist destination on the Gulf of Aqaba designed by architecture studio 10 Design. Epicon Hotel property will comprise two futuristic towers. One of the skyscrapers will be 275 meters long and the other one will be 225 meters long. It will consist of ultra-luxury 41 hotel rooms and 14 suites and apartments. The two jagged skyscrapers are visualized as being interconnected by horizontal levels that hold an outdoor pool, among other spaces. And the region is also home to Epicon Resort with 120 rooms and will also feature a beach club, spa, wellness pools, and restaurants. Epicon Residences is also part of the region, including 45 beach villas with private pools and direct access to the beach. Now, this is said to be another futuristic landmark for luxury and wellness travelers. And I made another whole separate video about what is a wellness hotel, so do check that video out as well. Now, in fact, while I was making this video, Saudi dropped another brand new project under their Neom brand called the Siranna or Siranna. I'm not sure how they pronounce that exactly yet, but it is this ultra luxury hotel destination which is in this hexagonal pillar shape, and it is located again in the Gulf of Aqaba. It would have 100 hotel rooms and apartments, 65 rooms, and 35 private residences. There's a huge focus on world-class beach club, so world-class events, exclusive events, luxury retail boutiques, fine dining restaurants, and nature trails because, well, obviously it's located in the middle of mountain, wadi, and sea and connects all of them together, blending the nature, and offers views to the Red Sea. But in today's video, I wanted to have a conversation about the other projects that Saudi Arabia has recently announced. You see, a lot of people have asked this question of, will these projects ever be completed? It's the million-dollar question. Will the Line project be completed? Will this floating hub, Oxagon, or whatever you call this, would ever be completed? And the simple answer to this question is yes. I mean, they're investing billions, if not trillions, into this. They would eventually be all ready by some time. There may be toned-down versions of this, but yes, they will all be built. It's pretty clear that Saudi Arabia wants to attract new businesses, new opportunities, and new tourists, and obviously tourists and visitors, and also allow people to move to Saudi Arabia for job and business prospects. But when a country is making such a loud statement to the world of who they want to be or how they want to be perceived, it is important that some levels of infrastructure are set and ready for this giant Vision 2030 transformation. So, what does that even mean, right? I'll explain. Okay, so most countries fit in the first three categories of the levels of infrastructure. So we're going to begin with number one, and number one is foundational infrastructure. Well, foundational infrastructure is just basic roads and transportation facilities, bridges and public transit, and basic utilities like water supply, sanitation, basic telecommunications, etc. And Afghanistan may be one of the examples of foundational infrastructure because the country is recurringly trying to make ongoing efforts to establish basic infrastructure such as roads, sanitation. Now, at number two, we have economic infrastructure, right? Now, economic infrastructure is it's just like like a second level of the same basic stuff, but you have much better roads. So you have highways now, you have airports which are bigger, better, you have efficient public transportation services, you have advanced grid systems and better diversified energy sources. Brazil is actually a pretty good fit in this category. So at number 3, which is the last 3 of the most common category, at number 3 we have the advanced infrastructure. That would include smart cities, high-speed transportation, innovation hubs, and development centers. South Korea is a pretty good example of this category. Now at level 4 and level 5 is where you start to see some inconsistencies, right? Now, don't get me wrong, okay? But level 4 is just social infrastructure. That means advanced top-notch healthcare, education, and community facilities. So all countries do have healthcare networks and education facilities, but they may not be the best. For example, schools and colleges would exist, but they may not really attract a lot of international students. Now, at level 5 is it's sort of like a first class of an airline, right? It is extremely hard for a country to even fall in this category because they have to be so developed. And the perfect example for this is Singapore, because level 5 is resilience and security infrastructure. It means building for disaster management, resilient buildings with emergency responses and advanced warning systems. And Singapore has efficient emergency response systems and strict security measures to protect critical infrastructure all throughout the city. Why did I explain all this, right? Because for a country that wants to attract tons and tons of new people, it is important that they're either at level 4 or level 5 or somewhere around those highest stages of the levels of infrastructure, right? But it takes years of investments, it takes years of infrastructure developments, and a lot of expertise for a country to be at that particular phase of infrastructure. By any means, I'm not saying that this is the only way for a country to move forward, so don't get me wrong, this is just a general progression of how a country may develop or could develop, right? But now imagine a country that requires time to flush out some of the advanced infrastructure for the people who are already living there. How would this country then be ready to invite millions and millions of people who would then come and settle here in less than 10 years? You see, most of these projects don't have a strict deadline, but because they released these images and renders, we start to believe that we will see this sooner than we actually think. But it is easier to create these images and renders and these videos, but some of these projects could even take 20, 30, or even 40 years in development or to be fully completed, right? And by that time, we may already have the technology to make these futuristic projects look pretty noble. Much of the infrastructure then may start to look similar, and it might not be so groundbreaking as we think it is today. For example, Dubai's new airport is supposed to take 27 years. That's 27 years from now, right? It's supposed to be completed in 2050. In fact, Saudi's very own line project is supposed to be completed by 2045. That's 24 years since it was first released with images and renders. So yes, don't be fooled. Just because they announced these super futuristic, super ambitious project, it does not mean it's gonna get built soon. It's gonna be built, yes, but it's gonna take time. And Saudi is investing billions and billions of dollars into this to buy the time, to get the time shot. So yeah, that's it for today's video. It's just this discussion that I wanted to have. I wanted to clear the sort of confusion that a lot of people have with these mega projects, sort of clarity, and also my opinion about what I think about these projects. So let me know what you think, but that is it for today's video, and I'm gonna see you soon in the next one. Until then, goodbye and take care.